Yuna was at the museum at the weekend. She is fascinated by any kind of art, at least that's what it says under a post with paintings on Instagram. However, she has never seen the pictures. Yuna is a fictional person who, according to the Instagram description, will remain 22 years old forever. As a virtual influencer, she has been on the platform under I Am Universe since summer 2022. Even the name gives a reference to her virtuality, as does the profile description Forever 22 and Virtual Girl living in Berlin. At first glance, however, Yuna can appear like a real person. The proportions of her limbs are correct, the size of her head fits her body. The face mostly looks human at first glance, but it is too smooth at second glance or when zooming in. Especially the eyes, which lack a natural glow, show that Yuna is not human. Consciously chosen to look human. Studio 71, a subsidiary of the Pro7 group, is behind Yuna. The human appearance was wanted by the team. We really scanned real people for this, says Andreas Meissner, Senior Vice President Creator and Business Development at Studio 71. Various areas, such as skin texture and head shape, were recorded. Then we combined and modified the recordings until it met our expectations, Meissner continues. The team had a concrete idea of what Yuna should look like. We then tried to implement the image we had in our heads of what Yuna should look like, and I think we did a good job, says Meissner. Among other things, the 3D tool Maya was used for the creation. Meissner does not reveal how much it cost to create Yuna. In addition to appearance, Yuna was also assigned values and themes. Behind the virtual influencer is a character concept. According to this, Yuna has just moved to Berlin and is finding her way in the new city. That is the story that should be told. There are focal points in terms of content. We want to serve contemporary topics such as diversity, female empowerment and body positivity, says Meissner. Yuna would stand. She liked going to the CSD and experienced a colorful, positive world, says Meissner. Basically, she wants to be a good person. Reality meets virtuality. It's just that Yuna isn't human. She doesn't run with the CSD, team members take over. They go out and shoot the content that will be used for Yuna's profile. This can result in classic image postings or posts into which Yuna is worked, then reality meets virtuality directly. This can be seen, for example, in a posting from September 17, 2022. Yuna can be seen from behind in front of a mirror in which she can be seen again and again in an endless loop. In this post we mixed the real world with the virtual world, so we shot a background photo and then projected Yuna into it, says Meissner. This is done by a 3D artist. According to Meissner, with such contributions they want to play with what a virtual character can do in contrast to a real one. Editorial team stands behind Yuna's content. Although Yuna can quickly switch between perspectives, she cannot feel for it. In the texts to their postings, it looks different again. They are also about feelings, about their impressions and experiences. The sentences are also written by the team behind Yuna. In this editorial work, the responsible creative unit adheres to the character concept, but not only that. Of course, the team lives this character naturally, they have to think and feel their way into Yuna, says Meissner. In the beginning, they would have oriented themselves even more closely to real people with all the content, but now they want to consciously emphasize the virtuality. That was also a wish of the target group. Studio 71 sees this in tech-savvy people who belong to Gen Y or Gen Z. Your feedback for the Instagram appearance was positive in the first few weeks. Many found the story and the technical approach exciting, summarizes Meissner. But there were also requests for changes. One approach, which we have already taken up, was really to put a little more emphasis on the virtual, says Meissner. The Yuna team would have looked into that, after all, that's in their interest too. Yuna should live her virtual existence. They want to do this with postings like the one from September 17th. Yuna should be placed in reality, but do things that are not so easy for people to do. She will probably not fly through space. The virtuality is limited by the story of the character. The forever 22-year-old lives in Berlin. The virtual is discussed, for example, in the texts that appear with the posts. The phrase authenticity is king also applies to Yuna. The motto is actually known among real influencers. They too have reacted to the virtual colleague. Of course, there are also people who are afraid of virtual reality, remembers Meissner. It was not about seeing the virtual character as worrying competition, the question was more about the meaning. Virtual influencers for entertainment. According to Meissner, the purpose is entertainment. He compares virtual influencers to cartoon characters. What do you need Pixar films for? It's simply good entertainment. These films have become part of entertainment, Meissner makes clear. There's nothing wrong with positioning yourself broadly and having virtual characters on the one hand and real ones on the other, he continues. Fashion industry as a possible application. The virtual influencers are therefore an addition to reality, also as a new advertising space. So far, Yuna has been cooperating with Fiverr, a platform for digital clothing. Meissner does not want to publish how much sales were made with it. Meissner sees a possible use for virtual influencers in the fashion industry. In the fashion industry, digitization is already taking place in product development and the market for digital fashion assets in the form of NFT is growing. This results in native points of contact for virtual influencers, says Meissner. In general, he sees no restrictions for sectors. Virtual influencers have long been a trend in other countries. Advertising with virtual influencers has been going on in other countries for a long time, for example in Asian and American countries. A well-known example is Lil Miquela, the virtual influencer, advertises fashion labels and makes music. It was developed by Bud, a US company that develops characters for storytelling. Meissner is also aware that Germany is lagging behind in this trend. Innovations often come from the East and West. In Germany, on the other hand, we often have a restrained innovation dynamic and later jump on trends, says Meissner. According to him, the time has now come to open up the subject in Germany. Yuna is not alone. Yuna is not the first virtual influencer from Germany. Yuna performed at the About You Awards in 2021. At the beginning of October 2022, she had 404,000 followers on Instagram, and is internationally known. Kim Kardashian, among others, congratulated her on her birthday. Yuna is clearly recognizable as a virtual person. Her appearance is reminiscent of a mixture of Mattel's Mycene dolls and manga. This sets her apart from the more human-looking Yuna. Ella Stoller, on the other hand, has a similarly realistic approach. However, the Instagram account has been idle since May 2021 and her TikTok profile can no longer be accessed. Yuna cannot yet be found on the video platform either. Moving image content should also be available in the future. In general, Meissner could even imagine integrating virtual influencers in series or video formats in the future. For the first time, Yuna's World got a new member in early October 2022, the male Studio 71 character Ilio started on Instagram. How do you think Yuna thinks that?